Let's go for Olympia today. I love the Decimator Great Axe build in particular because it lets you play Olympia almost as if it's a Guardian, blocking a bunch and then attacking it with your Axe, and since I personally don't play Guardian in CC, this is kind of my go-to deck whenever I want to play a little bit more of a fatigue strategy. The deck recently got access to Visit the Golden Anvil, a new Olympia specialization. This card gives us an additional outlet to use our gold tokens that we generate quite a bunch of, letting us equip additional equipment from the sideboard. I don't have a second copy of Grains of Blood Spill, so I'm running Crucial Bladehold in the sideboard, but obviously if you want to run a second copy of Grains yourself, it's just way better. The deck has a decent amount of things that can give go again to your Axe, and the way the deck is built, you have a lot of buffs that cost one resource, so if you do have go again available to you, you can very easily follow up your Axe attack with something like a Command and Conquer or the Weakest Link. Against the grindier matchups or full-on aggro matchups, we have Sink Belows and Unmovables in the sideboard as well. And against decks that rely heavily on the equipment pieces like Ninja and all the Mystic Heroes, we have 2 copies of Shatter that can surprise snipe an important piece off the board. One of the main win cons of the deck lies in Up the Ante, where you can pitch a blue to wager 3 times, and if you play a bunch of your other wager cards, you can easily push this to a +6, generating you a ton of tokens out of nowhere. It's very spicy if you play Double Down first, because then you'll get an additional token from each of your wagers. As for tech cards in the deck, Emboldened Blade and Warmonger's Diplomacy can be quite crucial against fatigue decks and buff decks like Ranger. I have considered adding a bunch of the wager attacks into the deck, because we can swing the Axe with go again and follow it up with one of those big wagers. We create a lot of momentum for ourselves, but because I want to have a curve where everything that I attack in would cost 2, and since all the wager cards they cost 3, it's a little bit awkward. I'm not sure if I'm willing to go that route. Another card that I have been playing around with that has been quite successful is Runner Runner. This one gives you an agility token if it has go again, so if you get an agility token at any point from your wagers, then Runner Runner keeps regenerating that agility back onto the board, which can be quite fun. However, I think at this point of time that the Weakest Link is more powerful. I did play Spoils of War a few times because it combos very nicely. If you have 2 blues in a Command and Conquer in hand, you play Spoils of War, you go in with your weapon, and then you still have 2 resources floating to be able to go in with your Command and Conquer. The issue I do have with Spoils of War is that if I do add them into the deck, I have an additional 3 red cards in the deck, which means that we need to cut a couple of blues again. Right now, we have around a 69% chance to draw into at least 2 blues at any given time, a 94% chance to draw at least one of them. Personally, I think that's kind of the sweet spot, because if we do cut 3 blues in favor of Spoils of War, then we reduce the chance of having 2 blues in hand to 61% and the chance of having 1 blue in hand to 92%. If we compare 94% to 92%, it doesn't seem like much, but if I'm thinking about it, like 6% of the chance I'm gonna have a full red hand versus 8%, I don't want to brick, so I prefer just going with the 30 blues in the main deck instead. Also, in case of having 2 blues in hand, 61% is a full-on 8% drop. Anyway, this is how I'm currently playing Olympia. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below. Also, if you want to have access to a full-on sideboard guide, I have it available over on my Patreon at patreon.com/GuganAGaming. I also offer coaching plans over there if you're a newer player and you want to learn the competitive ropes of Flesh and Blood. With that said, thank you for watching everyone, have a great day, and I will see you all soon with another Flesh and Blood video.